Welcome to the Lorehounds podcast, your guides to the Pitt. I'm John.
And I'm David. And this is our coverage of episode 5, is it? Yeah, it's got to be 5. I'm getting so confused between Night of the Seven Kingdoms and Starfleet Academy and this, and they're all like one number off from each other. Anyway, this is the 11 o'clock hour, season 2, The Pitt.
That's right. If you want to get in contact with us about all this stuff, Lorehounds at thelorehounds.com is going to be your best bet, or you can go to the Discord server. It's got a Pitt channel. You can discuss all your medical drama takes with everybody else who also is doing layman's medical diagnoses.
Fair enough. And this is more of a vibe checky podcast. However, I am sliding ever so slowly into a more organized approach to the show. And I've actually started to do a little bit of outlining, at least for characters and topics and things like that. Because I just feel like I can't hold on to this show in my head without having some notes. So we put some notes together for that. John, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was stronger than last episode.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, no, I thought last episode was a little bit of a step back from the one prior because episode 3, I think, is still my favorite of the season.
So far.
But this is definitely a really good episode that's moving very well. The only thing is I was literally retching from disgust when Ogilvy is getting shat on.
Poop explosion.
I was watching on my computer and I ran out of the room and went, and Maya was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
You actually had an actual gag reflex.
I had, not one time.
Oh my gosh.
Like it took me like several minutes to control myself.
How are you handling Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Anyway, we're not talking about that show right now.
It's more cartoonish. This is much more realistic.
Okay, I got it. So it's the realism that it's interesting. Oh,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I've dealt with a lot of poop these last 5 years since becoming a father.
Yes, you have.
But I don't know. Your own child's poop is much different than old lady impacted poop.
I think so. I would guess so. Anyway, I'm sure she felt very relieved after the fact.
I'm sure she said so, right? She was like, "Oh, that's much better." Right after she shat all over Ogilvy. And poor Ogilvy, continues. With Santos just like really dumping everything on him.
Yeah.
But also, maybe that's why they had us like kind of hate him for the first couple episodes, because now we don't have to feel as badly.
Right. Yeah. There's a little bit of it's not a redemption necessarily, but
kind of a just desserts thing, right? You want to be so active? Here you go. Here's your own cases.
Yeah, you're doing all this stuff, intubating people and resuscitating people, and
pulling out glass, and
this is the ER. Well, and that's one of the notes that I have, which is the gauntlet it's not a gauntlet, it's a crucible that new doctors on their rotations, medical students on their rotations, and even just the doctors but specifically I'm thinking of the students, the crucible that they have to go through in an ER setting.
Right.
It's dangerous. You're being exposed to some of the worst pathogens, known to humanity.
Yeah.
You're seeing people in the widest expanse of our physical existence, and all kinds of social issues as well as the medical issues.
Some of the shittiest situations they'll ever deal with.
Absolutely. That was
an Ogilvy joke.
I know.
Okay.
I got it. I was moving on. Anyway, so any other hot takes for the episode?
Yeah, I just overall themes. I think you hit on one is infectious diseases getting out of control is definitely something that they're seeding. And I wonder if that is a clue as to what's happening at Westbridge. I think it is the other hospital.
Okay, all right, you're getting up on the board.
Quarantine down, right? Lockdown. Second thing is, and then again, would it be the whole hospital? I doubt it. Second thing is, I think the show is starting to turn on Dr. Robbie. We are starting to see a lot of characters start to call out Robbie on his shit. Dana, Langdon, kind of. He wants to at least. Garcia was like really on him, and so was Al Hashimi, and she had a point, right? I didn't disagree with any of the takes, except maybe Garcia, because Garcia, I was like, I don't know, that woman would probably be dead if you followed your treatment plan.
Right, right.
Anyway, that's what I think the show's starting to do. I did say up front in the season, I think that they're going to have a redemption arc, an upward trajectory for Al Hashimi, and then a downward trajectory for Robbie. I think they are starting to move that along.
Yeah, we're not seeing evidence that would disprove that. Everything seems to be going in that direction for sure.
Right. Let's get the betting pool on his midlife crisis when he's coming back.
That's right. We need Ahmed's board up here. We need to get that going in the Discord. Getting a betting pool. We didn't actually. I'm surprised nobody in the Discord has put up a betting pool for what the code black is. So,
do you have any other hot takes?
I do. This episode was interesting given the trajectory of each episode within the season, and it felt like the storytelling window was much narrower or smaller than the previous couple of episodes. The number of patients that we've seen seems to we focused in more rather than I don't know however many it has been in each episode, but a lot 6, 7, 8, something like that. It felt more like 5, 6 this episode, and getting in with the characters a little bit more. We didn't move around as much. We weren't with Javadi as much, and Santo, it was
even Whitaker. You didn't see that much of him other than the shit scene, and
exactly
Mel too. She was in
hardly
she had like one little quiz scene, and that was it. So mostly the interns besides Santos did not get a lot. So
it was like
attention.
They tightened the focus, right? They narrowed us in a little bit on the stories, and where last episode I felt like it was very light and flirty and kind of silly, and we were rolling through a bunch of stuff. This episode, all episode long, the knob in my anxiety, the anxiety was at the control panel in my brain and was like mashing the buttons. And I was like, oh, the prisoner's going to reach for a scalpel. Oh, the MRSA's going to, or, the necrotic fasciitis is going to explode on everybody. And I didn't see the tuberculosis coming until it was there.
Yeah. Did you read Everything is Tuberculosis? It like lit the world on fire last year.
I remember hearing about it. Yeah. I remember. It was a while ago.
It was last year.
Was it only last year? Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
It was a very good book, and it's pretty short. I would recommend it, and the audiobook is good too. I think I did the audiobook.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, I just all episode long, I just had this sense of dread and anxiety building, and there was no real sort of release or snap for it. In fact, they left us hanging off the cliff, with poor what's his name, Louis. We don't know.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming.
A cheap cliffhanger, but yeah.
But they've been doing it all season. So like they've built that visual device or, that storytelling device.
That's why I haven't been complaining about it. I'm like, you know what? It's part of the identity of the show, and that's fine.
Right. It's working. So yeah, that's sort of my rough thoughts. I did make a little list of character things and a few topical things. And then I've got did a little deep dive in necrotizing fasciitis, but I did more of a deep dive on the branding thing and the dudes sort of being dudes with body branding. I kind of fell down a hole. Nicole and I from Nevermind the Music and I were even texting about it. And apparently her students have not heard that this is a thing, even though this is the second time this sort of hot, cold branding has broken through my information bubble, like literally, like within the last 10 days or so. So
I didn't know it was a thing either. Those kids are idiots. I just want to say that.
Well, we'll talk about it. And we did get some feedback that I wanted to mention. Oh, and I've got a nice list of the patients. I think I got everybody. But there was one little piece of feedback from Samartian, one of our long-term Lore Master subscribers.
The first one.
Was it the first one?
Absolutely the first one.
Wow, that's why Samartian's on the top of the list whenever we read it out.
That's right.
So Samartian wrote in and posted a message on the Patreon page and was saying that she was thanking us for having the conversation that we did about neurodiversity and specifically the social model of the people coping with a world that's been developed for neurotypical populations versus a medical model. So a social model versus a medical model of neurodiversity, right? And not looking at somebody with neurodiversity from a clinical standpoint necessarily is just a condition. It's just a condition as is, and then
Right.
does the world fit, and the world not fit, and how do we medicalize things, or do we socialize things? Do we treat just like the deaf patient who was like, no, look at me when you're talking to me, right? But the Samartian also said high functioning neurodiverse people are constantly interpreting the world, masking and coping with the neurotypical world, and that anxiety and depression is real and always underneath, sort of an iceberg thing, so to speak, they say. And Samartian adds that among many neurodiverse folks, eating disorders and other addictions are always, are a lot of ways that people unhealthily, cope with the anxiety and the depression that they're dealing with.
Right.
And that's why therapy and coaching are so important for people who are experiencing neurodiversity, because that anxiety is just in there. And it's just, anxiety is like chaos energy, right? And you have no idea how it's going to spread or impact or what it's going to affect or how it's going to trigger. And more than, the dealing with the neurodiversity stuff itself, or managing for that, or working in the world with those conditions, that's almost the easy part in some ways than the anxiety, which can be hidden and you can't see it, and it's working its way throughout things, and which I think you have some understanding of as well.
Yeah.
And how affecting anxiety.
I live with it every day. And, we all have our own coping mechanisms, some of them more healthy than others. And I think that's part of it, is like, there is such a thing as a healthy coping mechanism, right? Like, everyone has their own system, and nobody, I would never shame anybody for their, eccentricities and systems that help them get through life, because life's hard, even if you're neurotypical, but especially if you're neurodiverse, right? Right. Neurodivergent, rather.
Right.
We also got another piece of feedback, by the way.
Oh, did I miss it?
It's very recent. Ken W says, "Don't be eating if you're going to watch the latest episode of The Pitt. A finger goes a long way."
Thanks, Ken. Well, Kim and Samartian, thanks for writing back. Two of our longtime supporters, so it's always good to hear from folks. All right, well, where do you want to start? We've got a lot we can talk about. Do you have anything particular?
Let's get right to the goop. Tell me all about some necrosis.
Okay, necrotizing fasciitis.
I guess the goop could have referred to several things in this episode, but I'm going with the bula. Is it, what do they call it? A bula?
Bula? Oh, a bolus? A bolus? Oh, a bolus is a thing that you swallow.
No, like, but the thing, the like black spot that was forming.
Oh yeah,
I thought he called it like a bula or something like that.
I forget what he called it.
Am I making up the word?
You might be just off on it.
We're doing a really great job today.
Awesome. Well, anyway, necrotizing fasciitis is a bacterial infection that has the nickname flesh-eating disease. And it is obviously a serious bacterial infection, and it attacks the tissue that's beneath the skin, the fascia, which is this weird soft tissue that helps your muscles slide under your skin and over your organs and around your bones. And you have fascia, like, I don't know, I should have looked that up, but there's like miles and miles and miles of fascia in your body. And it's all like, it's like your skin, but it's like within your body, and it connects so many different things. And it's the little thing that keeps your organs together in one area and your muscle, over here. Like, it's a really, really important part of your body. And this bacteria can basically eat that material. And the bacteria releases toxins that block blood flow, which then lead to the tissue death, the necrosis in the affected area. And I think it's mostly caused by group A streptococcus. Okay, I'm not going to pronounce streptococcus. But MRSA can also be involved in it, apparently. And yeah, literally, it is we saw, I like from what I was reading and what we saw in the show, again, very medically accurate. So everything you need to know about the seriousness of it is all there on the screen and the way that they were treating for it. And literally, we can get into Dr. Robbie's issues in this one, but
all right, let's get into it. Like, what do you agree with his decision to just do the stainless steel scan?
I do, and I also think that it didn't need to come to that necessarily because he was being such a jerk to Langdon that I think their interaction actually compromised patient health, the care of the patient in that, because they were fighting and arguing about treatment and this. And if Robbie had just come out and just said, look, I'm really concerned that this is, necrotizing fasciitis. And I think we should continue on that protocol until we prove otherwise. Maybe they would have been ahead of the game a little bit, right?
I don't know about that because Dana did say he did everything you would have done.
Exactly.
And I do think that they got there at a similar pace. I don't think that was actually compromised.
Maybe I was just being affected by the tension between the two. And to me, I was questioning, did that compromise their ability to care for the patient versus them, fencing and struggling over what they should, would or shouldn't do. So it's hard to prove a negative, right?
I don't know. I mean, we're not doctors. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it could have. I think timing was not the issue here. It was just, it was more that the recurring issue, we can't get the upper units to actually respond to us. Because
they're getting overloaded because of the code black.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, when it's somebody who's like minute by minute getting severely worse.
Yeah.
It's even worse than somebody who's like waiting for, a need it today surgery, right? Like you still go to this person first.
Right. And the way that it was spreading, past the, a millimeter past the Sharpie line, like that. Yeah,
exactly.
That seemed like
insane,
really crazy emergency. We see this, and this ties into the Robbie storyline where he's really starting to, he's being a jerk to Langdon. He tells the woman's boss off on the phone, which, that's kind of a nice heroic moment. And he, does his, all guts, no glory kind of, stainless steel test. Right. But he's kind of being a jerk all around. He's being very prickly about a lot of stuff and kind of losing his cool a little bit.
I think that's the real result of the Langdon feud, is that he's snapping at everybody else.
Okay.
Because he won't confront it.
Right.
He's avoidant. We know that he's avoidant, right?
Right.
We've discussed that several episodes.
And anyway, Langdon's back there moving around in different spaces. And that's why he put him out into the lobby, into the triage, so that he wouldn't have to see or be near him. Right.
Right. He had to come in today. He was available, though, apparently. That he timed it. That Robbie timed it like, when's Langdon coming back? Great, I'll be gone that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Ruined it.
How are you feeling about their relationship? Or specifically, like how Robbie is relating to the situation.
He's being avoidant, right? Yeah, and like whether you're on sabbatical or you're not, you're going to eventually have to work with this guy again, and you can't have this beef. I always said like the best manager I ever had in a job. I worked at Starbucks, and there was this manager who anytime any two employees had a little bit of a feud or anything, he would sit them down on two chairs together and leave the room and say, "Figure it out." And he would squash the beef right away, and after be like, "You guys good? Cool." Because you just cannot have that, and that's in a low stakes team like a Starbucks, right? And not a medical situation where not communicating could be life or death for the patient.
I don't know, bro. People not getting their double, triple shot almond spritz foam, no foam.
People have certainly treated it like it's life or death. That's for sure. I just don't know if I agree with them. So the other thing is Whitaker, who we know is pretty close to Robbie, and Robbie's kind of taken him on as a little bit of a mentee.
Yep.
He goes, I'll prescribe the benzos.
Right.
I got it. I got the Librium. And he covers his ass saying like, oh, it's my patient, but you could tell by Langdon's face like he knows. He doesn't argue because he's actually like, you know what? Kind of fair. I get it.
Yep.
But you know that hurt him. That felt bad. And I think that would feel bad if you're in that situation, no matter if you understand or not.
And that's part of the recovery process. Right. He's just going to have to carry some of that for a while, and that's not going to necessarily go away. And there are going to be little awkward moments like that.
Right.
And hopefully he and Whitaker can, Langdon and Whitaker can kind of work it out at some point. Because, we see Whitaker being self-reflective when he goes to Santos and saying, hey, what did I do wrong? And she goes, probably everything, but or whatever she said. It was funny. But he's self-reflective in that regard, and Langdon is too, and especially the fact that he's going through active therapy. That's going to put him in a headspace of being more accountable and being more willing to relate to and address issues with folks.
Speaking of squashing beefs, Dr. Al-Hashimi.
Yeah,
with Robbie, why are you treating me like one of your residents? Just calls him right out, right? Like that's why I thought a theme of this episode was just like calling it out. Whatever it is, say it out loud.
I like that. I didn't pick up on that. That's a good subtle theme. Like if each episode has sort of a vibe theme running underneath it, kind of like fascia running throughout invisibly, connecting everything. I like that. Right.
Yeah, and I like how he's like, well, no, I just like to know what's going on. And she's like, all right, your turn. And he goes, touche. But we don't see him actually give
he just walks off. It's like, bro.
He's such a jerk sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I love him. He's the core of this show, but he is such a dick sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And in contrast, where they're really giving us the feels for Langdon when the security guard, when Ahmed gives him the fist bump, when he says like, oh, no, I can't afford it because I'm still, dealing with recovery stuff. And Ahmed says, respect, and gives him that fist bump. I was like, oh man, like you're hitting me in the feels here, And so I think in the conflict with Dr. Al-Hashimi and Langdon and Robbie, and then Whitaker, because we keep seeing Robbie making doe eyes at Whitaker going, oh, I'm proud of my little, my young med student, or not a med student anymore, but my, this young doctor. Mm-hmm. It really is starting to highlight what you keep pointing at, which is that Robbie's on a ride. They're putting Robbie on a ride for us this season.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with their relationship. I feel like it could go either way. I wonder if it's going to end up with Robbie needing some kind of forced sabbatical rather than an optional one.
A little trip to HR.
We'll see. Now, let me ask you though. Dr. Al-Hashimi is like super risk averse and super like everything needs to be done by the book. Mm-hmm. How is she just fine with Langdon coming back with what appears to be a kind of not above board solution to this, right? Like if the procedures had been followed with Langdon would never be back there. Mm-hmm. He probably would have been fired and charged with crimes.
Mm. But he chose to go through the an allowable rehab process.
He went through rehab, but I don't know if that included any kind of like admission of stealing. It was just, I have a problem. I have a drug problem.
They've said a couple of times that he's going through an approved program for medical practitioners who have issues with addiction.
Issues with addiction, sure, but issues with stealing medication, those are two different things.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. I think
if Robbie had followed all the procedures, because he was caught, right? He was caught red-handed.
He lied. He stole and he lied.
Right.
In a professional environment setting.
Right. There are, levels of this. You see this with a lot of professional organizations, doctors, lawyers, all that. They have these, assistance programs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still have that. The pilots. They don't
season 2 rehearsal. Go watch it. If you haven't watched it, go watch season 2 rehearsal.
But my point is, like, you still can't commit the crimes while you're doing the job, right? Like,
exactly. No,
if you're a lawyer, you can't go steal client funds and be like, I had a gambling problem. It's not. There's still the ethical line, and I don't think that. I don't think that Langdon suffered the actual consequences of that. Dr. Al-Hashimi, maybe she doesn't know about that, about the stealing. Yeah. Maybe she only knows that he had a drug problem
that he voluntarily submitted himself for, as opposed to submit yourself or be fired for stealing.
Right. And charged with crimes.
Yes.
I mean, I think Robbie said it would be felonies, right? Because he's stealing controlled substances.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I just don't. I think if she knew the full extent, she would not be happy he's back. She gave him a lot of comfort this episode, but I don't think she'd be giving him that comfort if she knew the whole story.
Is that just in opposition to Robbie?
Could be.
Robbie's going to treat you like a jerk. I'm going to treat you nice because I'm not Robbie.
Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
It's the
mom and dad.
It's the step parent coming in trying to win over the kids.
Right. By the way, John, could I interest you in some AI to help you with your podcast note taking?
Oh gosh,
it's gonna go right. Gosh. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Everybody's predicting it that the AI is going to get squirrely and throw a giant monkey wrench into what happens in the rest of the day.
This actually, the first season and a half were actually just a prequel to a sci-fi thing where like the hospital gets taken over by the robots.
I like it. Yeah, it's a little bit of what was the Argentinian one? The Etronaut is kind of an Etronaut.
I didn't watch that one, but
John, man.
I probably should.
Yeah, well, I never caught up on Mrs. Davis, so we're 1-for-1 there on that.
There you go. Well, halfway through the season, we're going to get a title card that says like based on the works of Isaac Asimov. So
nice. And Robbie, and we get a funny little triangle here between Robbie, Noelle, and Dana.
I don't think I needed to know that. I love what she said about how he has his TV on at night. I think that Dana does not want any part of the drama. The other nurses are into the drama. They want to gossip about everybody. Dana is like, I have so much stuff I need to keep in my head. I cannot keep who's sleeping together in my head too. She is the one who cuts through the bullshit, and maybe she should be dealing with Ogilvy's patient, but because she can come right through it.
As a character too, with just her dry humor and her sort of wise words, and I've been there, done that, and I'm doing you a favor, kid, all that stuff. I just love her. Like this show, I know part of the model of this show for its longevity is being able to rotate in actors and different characters, and we could be on the night shift, we could be on the swing shift. Like, there's a lot of opportunity here for stuff, which I think is interesting. If they are pushing Robbie's character in a particular way from a meta standpoint, are they making room for somebody else to come in for season 3 or something? So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that said, Dana is going to be one of my all-time favorite characters.
She's got to show. She's got to stay.
She's awesome.
Noelle, of course, says that Robbie has a 7-week itch. Well, I wonder what that's talking about. He's obviously he's getting ready for his 7 weeks with Dr. Al-Hashimi.
What's funny? The Pitt and Night of the Seven Kingdoms have been in this weird orbit with each other, and this week's episode is called The Seven, and then they're talking about a 7-week itch, and then there's some other bodily stuff that goes on in this episode that are concurrent with the most recent episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's really weird. It's really weird. Like they couldn't have planned this, so it's pretty funny. You haven't seen it yet, so I'm not saying
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't had the time yet. I had to watch this.
It's good. It's I will say that this episode is just really knocked the socks off of me. So, and these two, like, I'm so happy right now because I have The Pit and I have Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and they're both like really great. Sorry.
Just to tie off poop talk, the Ogilvy thing obviously was disgusting. Yes. I retched. The TB thing, though, that was interesting. And I think you pointed out something good before, which is, I guess not good, but interesting before, which is that, that rate, like 70% of them are exposed to TB. Oof. It's like insanely high.
Yeah.
Insanely high. I did read Everything is Tuberculosis, or I listened to it, and very good book. I would recommend it. It's pretty short, easy read. It really talks about how like people in in non like U.S. Western countries will often be denied life-saving care for TB. Like we could get rid of TB if we wanted, but because we don't invest enough into the treatment of it, it remains being a problem.
Sometimes human beings were just so weirdly illogical.
There's also like a lot of, it does remain a problem partially because we don't treat everybody for it, but also because we do partial treatment for a lot of people. And
that pushes then the
we have huge problems on antibacterial, on antibiotic resistant TB now.
Which is what MRSA is an antibiotic resistant bacteria.
Mm-hmm. But so TB is just like a very weird illness too. Like it doesn't behave the right way compared to other illnesses. And so that's why she's talking about like you have months on the pills. Like that's a thing. And not every strain of TB will respond to the same treatment. It's actually a really hard infection to treat. We have the technology. It's just that part of it is in, a lot of African countries. And this is from that book if you want more details, but they'll refuse to give you pills to take home because they're like, well, we don't think you'll follow through with it. And so you need to stay at the treatment center and take it or go home without the pills because we don't want to develop an antibiotic resistant TB.
That's one of those social conundrums.
Right. Like
we can measure the percentage of people who do stop mid-treatment when they go home.
I'm sure that is a real problem, but at the same time, the people who wouldn't now aren't going to get treatment because you've decided that they're not going to do it. You don't even give them the chance.
Yeah. Public health is such a complex thing.
And it'll be, many miles between the place where you live and the treatment center. Can you get there every day?
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you get there, once a week? Even it's really tough for people.
And the hospital doesn't provide that other kind of care. So your family it's on your family to provide you with food and all of those kinds of things. So
even if you can get the pills for free, are you getting the rest that you need?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got for that. Why don't we take a break before we get into a new topic, and we'll see you on the other side. And we're back. So, what else you got for me, David?
Joy. We finally get something on Joy.
I know. I feel like they should have started that earlier.
It's interesting because they've been building that tension up, and then now that we have this breakthrough, we're like we're all having that experience of Joy finally. So I think that's intentional story writing. What they're doing.
You're experiencing Joy.
I am experiencing Joy. Isn't Joy the character in Inside Out? Or no, that is the main character. Yeah, that's the emotion of what's the kid's name? I forget.
Riley.
That's it. Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I have watched this movie many times.
Well, we're halfway through the second movie, and our daughter is a little bit like, oh, there's a little too much drama going on, and so she can't watch sort of after a certain point. They've been watching it at school, like she encountered it at school, which is great because it means that the school is taking seriously social emotional learning. And I really appreciate that. It's such a great model to explain the interiority of life for kids and stuff. So
it's okay to feel sad. Good message.
Yeah, and joy and sadness are connected. And I like the fact that joy has blue eyes, the same color blue eyes that sadness is hair and clothing and stuff.
You're hired for Lorehounds Jr. Let's move on for now to this Joy. She nailed that whole. Hey, let's get this guy into
what was she talking about? Or I don't know what that is. Yeah,
just a different unit, just not ICU. Basically, they were saying ICU is going to cost him $100,000, but he can get a third of the cost if he goes to like this other unit.
Right. We need Sarah to write in to explain to us what that is. Can you?
It sounds like it was med surge, right? That's what they called it.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It sounded like the concern was he needed to have his blood sugar monitored once an hour. And that is something that an ICU can definitely handle because, that is like one nurse per room, right?
Right. Or no, they were going to have him on a drip. And then if he's off the drip, which med surge couldn't handle, not that they couldn't handle it, but that's not part of their duties or I don't know. Yeah. There's some difference there in terms of the kind of care they provide or manage for.
So once an hour, that's a lot of check-ins for them.
Right.
And I guess that was the concern. But if you're good, then do it. Like this guy, I saw I don't remember who wrote it, but on our Spotify, somebody was like, I feel like you guys are downplaying how much people know about.
Yeah, that was on the Spotify comment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how bad the health insurance thing is. I don't know. There's many people who experience it in this country, and a lot of people who are aware of the issues are, and don't experience it, are still aware of it. But there is a large portion of this population who see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in your face. You're busy, and people just don't realize it. And then a lot of people in European countries are shocked by these bills, right? You hear about this and you're like, how is that even possible?
Yeah,
that it's that high. Or we have Australian listeners, right? Same thing. Like, go on.
I was just saying, being an industrialized nation with a high GDP, and wait, what? This is the way your system works. That's inconceivable,
right? So. And we literally just had a whole, political fight on, are we going to subsidize these ACA plans?
Well, and healthcare and health insurance goes back a long way. I think it was when the ACA was being put together and brought forward. I remember hearing political pundits and people and historians talking, and how far back this question of healthcare, the fight over healthcare, goes in this country. It goes back to like Gilded Age period.
Yeah,
and should we be doing this or not?
It's not great. It's not great.
We got issues.
The whole situation. No matter where you come from politically, I don't think anyone's happy with where we are right now on health insurance.
Yeah. And then we had what's the patient's name? Alan Billings, who gets bounced back from the other hospital.
And remember, they were going to cover his surgery there and not at this hospital.
Yeah.
And so that might be a problem. Now, there are, some ways to address like surprise bills. Like if you Google surprise bill laws, you will find that a lot of states and the federal government have different thresholds and circumstances where surprise ER bills, like emergency treatment, it only applies to emergency treatment. But in situations where you can't possibly get to a doctor on your insurance, you will have
for life-saving, to stabilize.
For life-saving, stabilization and like emergency services. Then sometimes you can get that forgiven or whatever else covered by your insurance that was out of network. But I don't know. This is not advice or anything like that. Just
we're just two people dealing with it in the world. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's crazy. And then should we talk quickly about Santos and charting? I kind of feel for her.
I feel for her. I mean, I have family members who are in healthcare, not doctors, but nurses, and they're often like, I got to stay late and I got to, do my charting. Like I just don't have time to do it during the day. Sucks.
And that's where, having a good transcription service, if AI powered or not, that could, you can't submit it until you check off on it kind of thing or something. There's ways to put in safeguards, but I think there is a safe way to use some of those tools that she's talking about, because she's not wrong. Dr. Al-Hashimi is not wrong in the sense of your patient is moving from unit to unit, healthcare provider to healthcare provider. Having accurate and timely charts is really important to patient care overall. But then the other problem is that we're just overloading. Like we have too many people are using the system in emergencies when that could have been a preventable thing long before they even thought about calling 911 or ending up in the thing, so that you really are dealing with true medical emergencies as opposed to medical conditions, which should be treated outside of an emergency situation.
Right. And is the date that they're getting double flow into the ER the day to really give her a hard time about being behind on her charting? I mean, this is why, like, seriously, I just thought it was wildly unprofessional the way that Dr. Al-Hashimi even brought it up. Like, that was not cool.
But then now she can slide in the AI thing and say, hey, that would be kind of gross. That would be kind of gross.
I mean, she already did.
She did it. Yeah.
She literally did that this episode. She was like, oh, well, my AI tool. And then Dr. Robbie was like, that sucks from the background. No.
Have you noticed they've been doing a thing this season, and I saw it last night, and I can't remember who it was with. Maybe it was Whitaker. They're doing this thing where two people will be in the foreground. They'll be out in the middle in the charge nurse station area. And then somebody will be off far in the background, and they'll rack focus back to that person as they're looking across the room and sort of listening in on that conversation. And then they'll bring the focus back. Watch for that, because I think they're playing with something where they're using the ambient nature of the show, of the hospital and the ER department itself, to show us how different characters are being affected and hearing different conversations that are happening. So there's something weird, and I can't remember which conversation it was. And I don't know why I brought it up at this point, but there was just something weird that happened in I think it was around the AI conversation, or it was Dr. Al-Shami and Robbie. Maybe Langdon was in the background. Maybe that was last episode. I can't remember. Anyway, kind of off track there on that.
Interesting.
Sorry.
No, I just don't know. I don't know where you're going with it, but
yeah, neither do I.
I'm interested.
I need to track it.
I'm interested in seeing where you go with it eventually.
Dr. Javadi, if we're going to call her doctor, I think she's going to be
Dr. Javadi.
Dr. J. I think she's going to be an awesome doctor one day. I really think she's got an awesome bedside manner. And I just think once she gets through her med school residency stuff, I think she's going to be a kick-ass doctor.
Yeah, I think so too. She's also got to figure out how to get the get the book smart thing out of her head. Because and she was better this episode and
much
last episode. But there are moments where you're like, she's still like Ogilvy, right? Like where her and Ogilvy, I think Ogilvy has been more humbled than she ever was.
Well, he got explosioned, and I think he's gonna. Yeah, I think
not a lot that can humble you more than getting shit on.
That's right. That's right.
You have notes here on the death doula stuff. You got thoughts on that?
I just thought it was. I couldn't read the room. Who was it? Was it Dr. Mohan and Dr. J? Was that
no? It was Dr. McKay.
It was Dr. McKay. There was just some. They were trading looks, and the death doula kind of breezes in and says, "I'm the death doula," and you're like, "Okay, cool." And then I felt like they were going to go in a direction of that. This is friction. There's some sort of friction or weirdness in their relationship. And then the death doula is advocating for the patient in ways that the husband. I don't know. I was expecting maybe my trigger sense for story drama were being activated, and when in fact they weren't doing that, but the setup was signaling to me that was that. And then the doctors and nurses were giving each other looks like, what's going on here? Like, what do you think about this? And for me, so the whole energy of the scene just kind of read funny, and that just might have been me reading the scene funny. But I've heard of death doulas before. I've heard some conversations around it. I think it's a really good idea. I'm actually sort of pro this idea.
I mean, I'm someone who just dealt with home hospice for my mother.
Right.
And so I've dealt with a lot of these issues. We did not have a death doula. I was the death doula, if anybody, because I was, making the calls and making sure that the hospice was listening to her and listening to the needs, even if she couldn't. Something that my mom taught me when I was a kid was, and because she dealt with her mother a lot in her health issues, is everybody needs an advocate. If you don't have an advocate, and like besides yourself, if you don't have an advocate in a healthcare situation, you're screwed. And I love the idea of a death doula because it's someone who, I happen to have already had experience in advocating in a medical situation. But, if you don't have that experience, as it seems her husband does not, the death doula is such a good option of being like, hey, she needs some more pain meds. Hey, you know what? Why don't you step out of the room for a minute so she could talk to the doctor privately? I just think that's a wonderful idea.
You like both of them needed care in that moment. The husband needed it as much as the wife did.
Right. And I did not think the scene was weird. I do think that there is still the possibility for some friction. I think there's going to be a lot of I think the friction is going to come when it's time for discharge. Because I think that the death doula wants to get her home right away. And the hospital is going to say no, you need to wait for the chair to get there. And I literally dealt with getting a hospital bed and a chair and all that kind of stuff for my mom. So I know how it can be really hard. I had to, I spent hours on the phone sometimes trying to get insurance to cover this or that with home equipment. So I understand like having a death doula is absolutely, I'm trying not to trauma dump here. It's absolutely, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, I enjoyed the scene because, I almost wish I had somebody like that, right? Who could have advocated. And
I've seen it in my life too, in different areas where you need somebody who's navigating just the paperwork stuff. It's a big deal. I'm trying to navigate the line of personal, how much to share personally from my extended family or not. But there are people out there who specialize in helping find the right residential care facility, or making sure that in a complex medical scenario, your meds, that this doctor and this doctor and this doctor, they're not talking to each other and they're all just throwing meds at the patient. And nobody's stepping back and looking holistically at the patient's well-being and saying, oh, these two medicines probably shouldn't be together, that kind of stuff. So,
And the opposite.
Which is not even death doula stuff. That's just patient advocacy stuff, right?
I know. Sorry. I'm just going to share an interesting story that my mother did for my grandmother. My grandmother had very severe dementia, and she had a very bad infection. Like, she was almost septic. And she like, it was looking like she was going to die. And they had in her chart that she was allergic to penicillin. So they're like, we can't give her most of the antibiotics. She really needs the antibiotics. My mom went through all of my grandma's medicine and figured out that one of the pills she had been taking for years had a penicillin derivative in it. And so she was not allergic. It was an error at some point.
Right.
Yeah. My grandmother survived.
Right.
And that's the story I always think of when I say everybody needs an advocate. Like, no doctor picked up on that.
Yep. Which we assume that they are going to. Right. And they're not.
And you know what my mom always said, I'm sorry to bring up my mother so much, but she was very smart on this kind of thing of advocacy. She said to me once, she goes, all these doctors, they're brilliant, but they don't talk to each other, and they have too many patients, and they don't follow up on things because of that. And I was like, that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
I think the key is the overloading of the system, because we're pushing people into extreme situations when things could be dealt with preventatively, and having good health, having good health care earlier on rather than ending up in the emergency, so that emergencies can be true emergencies when a refrigerator falls on you or whatever it is, right?
Oh, David's going around. If you're looking for the guy who's throwing fridges on everybody in Vermont, that's David.
That's me. Yeah, no, I it has affected my extended family, and I know that you just dealt with it as well. And so, not only patient advocacy, but death doula is like preparing an individual to die. Yeah, like that's a big deal, especially when you're at home and you're trying to be still a family under those conditions.
And like, I will say this, like, the hospices, they often mean well, but they also have too many patients.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I actually really like the scene. I do think friction could be coming. Wait, they're still there. They haven't been discharged.
Right.
But let's wait and see what happens with that.
Well, and that's what kept happening, is it like, I thought, oh, well, there's going to be here's a weird thing. Like, she's like, oh, let's go get some medication, or get her some more medication, or let's go out for coffee or whatever. And I thought, oh, is this a potential drama point? Because in another show, that's what it would have been. The death doula comes in all elbows and is like, I know best for my patient. But in fact, she integrated. And they're really, like, I was really moved when the husband and wife had a moment together, and you think about that kind of stuff. And so every time I thought they were going to throw an elbow, they actually kind of gave me a little hug. And I was like, oh, whoa, this is weird. I don't know how to deal with this. Maybe that's what they're doing intentionally from a story mechanical standpoint.
Yeah.
So
we should talk about body branding before we get out of here.
Dudes being dudes.
Well, dudes being dudes. It's a great broke a few months and I'll try it again.
So I texted Nicole this morning. I'm like, body branding, is it a thing? And she was like, I don't know. I haven't heard of it. I'm going to ask my students. So she was talking to her students today. Apparently they haven't heard of it. But like I was saying before, it's like broken through my news bubble. It's, it's breaking into my algorithm. It'll probably break into your algorithm now because we've said something about it. Not you, but even the listeners, not just you. So is it a real thing? I don't know, but
you know what it reminded me of? Did you ever watch the terrible and very offensive movie, The Beverly Hills Ninja, with Chris Farley?
No, I can safely say I don't even know that movie existed.
Oh man, it's really bad. Everyone, it's very offensive. I'm not standing by this movie, but I watched it when I was a kid.
Were a thing, yeah.
And there's a scene where he has to go get the brands on his wrist.
I do recognize.
And he picks up the boiling pot of water with the boiling cauldron of water to brand his wrists. And he picks it up at an angle, and the boiling water starts spilling on everybody sitting on the floor. That's what it reminded me of. Just branding going wrong.
Got it. Lovely. Yeah, so I don't know if it's a thing. I read a whole bunch about it, or just about rites of passage in general. Obviously, body modification has a long history within humanity as a whole. Tattoos and piercings and all kinds of modifications as a way of social, of expressing of individuality. But then this weird social media spin is kind of an accelerant to it because people are seeing it and then one-upping it, and there's a performative aspect to it. But then in a world that is algorithmically driven and so much of our life is digital ephemera, it's not real. So doing something as real as altering your body is in a way to authenticate yourself to yourself in a way, which is what a rite of passage is in a way. So yeah, I don't know. Is it real, or is it kind of a mirage? Are we killing? We killed 6-7 so quickly because we were all talking about 6-7, and then the kids were like, it's over. So are we creating a bubble that's going to pop because we're talking about it so actively?
I think you're overthinking this, David. I think this is just kids being stupid motherfuckers. Like kids will just try stupid stuff. Teenage boys will try stupid stuff. This is one thing that they. I mean, part of it was what was it, like a sports team logo?
Yeah,
the
Penguins.
Yeah, who's that?
It's a hockey team.
It's a hockey team. See, I don't even know. Anyway, I think you're overthinking it. I think this is really just like two kids being idiots.
I think it's possible. Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins. They're a hockey team.
Okay.
Fair enough. I may be hunting Markleys. We haven't used that phrase in quite a while.
I haven't heard that name and
I haven't heard that name in Oh boy, we're bad. We haven't done our Star Wars Film Festival in quite a while.
I know. We got to get back to it.
All right, so let's do a quick.
Earthsea's coming back, so I'm excited about that.
I need to read it. So, okay, we got Debbie Cohen with the cellulitis. We got Roxy Hamler, who's the stage 4 lung cancer. We got Paul Hamler, that's the husband. Gus Varney, severe blunt force trauma from prison beating. Oh, yeah. So anything that you want to add on that?
Malnutrition, obviously, going to be an aspect here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Treatment of incarcerated people.
Yeah.
By the, there's a balance, right? Like you want the people there to be safe. Like he goes orange jumpsuit. There's a reason he's in it. Mm-hmm. I understand that, but I also understand like the guy is but at the same time, like I'm sure that actually is the protocol. And if he doesn't follow it and the doctors get injured, guess who's going to lose their job?
Exactly.
So I kind of understand both sides of it.
Yep.
But it is making the doctors' jobs harder.
Any other show, the guy would have reached for a scalpel, and then it would have been a whole like drama in the ER sort of thing. So I'm glad they didn't go there, and I just hope that they don't. Mrs. Randolph, severe constipation, probable stool. Yeah, so that we've got that. Tina Yardley, the tuberculosis patient. Orlando Diaz, the diabetes. Alex Bender, dry ice burns. All right, we just talked about that. Dudes being dudes. And Louis, we knew it was coming.
Yeah, they were showing him too much.
And there was somewhere earlier on, I think it was even like episode 1 or 2, people were talking about there's something to do with that tooth abscess and something to do with cardiac situation. There was some connectivity there, and it was long ago now, I can't remember. Jackson Davis, this young student, we're waiting now. We're just in a waiting pattern for that. And then Alan Billings, who had the inferior shoulder dislocation, who's come back. So I think that's it. I think that's everybody. I can't think of any other patients.
And if there are, that's okay. We're not here to hit everybody. We're here to talk about the highlights.
That's right. Okay, cool. Anything else?
I'm looking forward to next week. I'm glad that the show keeps avoiding too ridiculous plot lines while still having fun stuff like what the hell is going on with the Penguins logo branding. I think we're in good shape. This has been a good season so far.
Yeah. So what else we got going on the network? We've got Night of the Seven Kingdoms coverage, doing a joint project with Properly Howard on that. I just recorded relative to this.
It's out now.
Is it already out?
Yes,
Did
it's
Anthony
out.
already put it out? Okay, good. So that's our instant takes with me, Steve, and Anthony this week. That's kind of a rotating cast. And then you guys are going to do your full deep dive next Monday?
Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, it's on schedule for the week, but it feels late because they did an early drop.
Right, because
we just couldn't make it work on the weekend. I'm busy this weekend, so sorry, buddy. Right. But you'll have the instant take out already, so you can get your taste of coverage, and we'll have that full dive out. I know you are doing Wonder Man.
Yes, we did a Wonder Man. We're doing it in 2 parts, episodes 1 through 4 and episodes 5 through 8. And the thing about that is we are taking a commercial break, or if you're a subscriber and you don't get the commercial break, you still get the little break music. So we're talking about each episode in kind of a standalone fashion and progressively, so that if you haven't watched the show, you can at least kind of catch up as you can jump into the podcast at the appropriate episode. And then we're doing a thing where we're just sort of taking 2 or 3 items each from the episode to sort of talk about the episode as a whole. Very cool. I am up through episode 4. I just actually watched episode 5 last night, and we're going to be recording early next week, I believe, and we'll have that out mid to late next week for episodes 5 through 8.
Great.
And then Alicia has her Oscar coverage is rolling forward. She had something out about shorts, and she had some stuff about animated features. So keep an eye for that. I think that's all we've got really going on in coverage.
Well, I'm recording next week. I'm recording Silmarillion Stories finally with
nice.
Marilyn.
Finally.
Turin Bar. He's coming in. The tragic tale. It's a very depressing, very Game of Thrones-y Tolkien tale.
Perfect.
We're wrapping up the Silmarillion. We're approaching the end quickly, which is good because there's more book projects coming. I'm cooking up something big.
I heard about it. Oh, I was going to mention too, I don't know if people are Olympics fans, but I was thinking maybe a What You're Watching on the Olympics, which is our subscriber only topic.
I'm not doing that, but you have fun.
Okay, right. I'm curious to see. But the other thing is the Muppets. They released a standalone Muppets episode, and I heard it's really good. So I was thinking,
with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, I heard it's really good.
I've just seen the clips, but it does look really funny.
Yeah, so I want to do What You're Watching about that.
Okay, I'll do that one with you.
All right.
I like Sabrina Carpenter. I like the hits.
Cool. And did you have much experience with the Muppets?
Not really.
Okay.
I was just not big on them.
Got it. Yeah, it was a thing a time. So we'll see who else are on the network. Maybe we'll get a couple people together for that.
That'd be good.
Never mind the music. Just had a cool episode come out about how track lists for albums get put together. It's a really cool conversation. It was another podcaster. I forget his name, but a guy who's been podcasting since podcasting was basically invented. So, and I believe he's the host of the One Hit Wonders podcast. So that was very cool. And what else we got? I don't think there's anything else going on. Did the Radioactive Ramblers finish up with
I think episode 8 might have been this week, so okay. I don't think they put it out yet. So probably more coverage coming from them.
Okay.
On Radioactive Ramblings, I know Properly Howard is getting ready for their next season.
The newlywed season.
Yep. The newlywed season. Yep. Other than Night of the Seven Kingdoms, so plenty of stuff coming.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Should we thank some folks?
Yes, our Discord server boosters: Aaron K, Tiller the Thriller, Doof71, Athena A, Listu, Nancy M, Ghost of Perdition, Radioactive Richard, and Adrian.
And our lore masters, our top tier subscribers, the folks who we literally could not produce this podcast without. Samartian, number 1 right there on the list. Thanks, Samartian. Michael G, Michelle E, SC, Peter OH. Like all of these people have been subscribers for a lot. It's like crazy to read these names for all the years that we have.
They were there when the first brick was laying.
When the first bits flowed from the microphones. Peter OH, Nancy M. We couldn't do it without you, Nancy M. Duve71, Brian 8063, another person we couldn't do it without. Frederick H, Sarah L, Gareth C, Andra B, Kwang Yu, Nathan T, Sub-Zero, Aaron K, Dally V, Mothership, 61, Gnarls, Kathy W, Listu, Jeffrey B, Elisa U, Ben B, Scott F, Stephen N, Julia F, Collie S, Il Mariel, Paul K, Rocky Zim, Jessica A, Red Zippy, the TCS, Dopamini, Catch It, Eleanor, Mrs. Tennant, AC Wilson, Eli W, Cassie K, Chumbaruni, Tilla, Josh Liu, Painton PDX, Corey G, and Quinch. And of course, forever last but never least, Adrian. Thank you all so very much for being supporters. If you want to hear your name being added to the halls of Mandos, is that? God, my Tolkien lore is so far.
The halls of Mandos is for the dead people, so maybe don't call
these
it
are
that.
These are not dead people. I don't know. The halls of heroes. What do we call these? Our lore masters. Anyway, if you would like to hear your voice, your name listed in this August list, you can join our Patreon or our Supercast. There are links in the show notes. Just hit that little Linktree note and go subscribe to where you want to subscribe, because we're independent podcasters and we couldn't do it without your help. John, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you for more Pitt next week.
The Lorehounds podcast is produced and published by the Lorehounds. You can send questions and comments to lorehounds@thelorehounds.com. Get ad-free access to all Lorehounds podcasts on Patreon or Supercast, and connect with us on Blue Sky and join us on our Discord server. Links for everything are in the link tree in the show notes of this episode. Any opinions stated are ours personally and do not reflect the opinion of or belong to any employers or other entities. Thanks for listening.